Hi everyone, and welcome to week 34. Our learning intention for today is to create an explanation for the similarities and differences between organisms to see how they're related. Your agenda is on the left and your work due by Thursday is on the right. By Thursday, be sure to complete the check-in form, which will be on Google Classroom. Your classwork slides 11, 13, and 14. You'll have two Edpuzzles, one that is called Intro to Darwin and another called Biodiversity in Darwin. Your exit ticket for day 1 will be on slide 15. Homework support for Friday will be from 9 a.m. until 9:50 a.m. It's a little bit shorter than usual because I have a couple of meetings that morning. But if you do need time to go over any sort of assignment, just email me and we'll set up a time to do that. This week's classwork slides will count toward the Digital Interactive Science Notebook category. As you know, slide 2 is where the video will go. Slide 3 says to see Google Classroom for the check-in. And so we are going to start thinking about evolution and natural selection. And so slide 5, where in the world is this? I want you to look at this image on the right. What is it that you are noticing? What does it look like? What are you wondering, right? And so this picture was taken in the Galapagos Islands, which is off the west coast of South America. And the Galapagos Islands are home to many unique organisms, such as these tree-like cacti. Cacti is the word that is plural for cactus. And so notice behind me, right, this is an image of what you might see if you were in the Galapagos Islands. Now, where is that exactly? And so here, notice this map, you've got North America, right? And so if you go to South America, the Northwest region, you have Ecuador. And if you travel a little toward the west into the Pacific Ocean, you have the Galapagos Islands there. And so we are studying life science, and so life on our planet is very unique and has a wide variety of variation of species. But where did all these different species come from? I'm going to go to slide 6. How many species of birds can you name? So you have robins, penguins, cardinals, chickens. They're all separate species. And so there are about 10,000 species of birds on Earth today. Each species has wings, feathers, and beaks. Scientists hypothesize that all birds evolve from an earlier or ancestral group of bird-like organisms. As this group evolved into different species, birds developed different sizes, colors, songs, and ways of eating. Yet they kept their key bird traits, right, such as wings, feathers, etc. Slide 7. Okay, so how do species evolve, right? And so the first thing we have to talk about is what evolution means. And so evolution can be simply described as change over time. In life science, when we talk about evolution, we're talking about how populations of organisms change as the population adapts to changes in the environment. Slide 8. Remember that a population is a group of organisms of the same species that live in an area, such as, say, for example, here you have a population of pine trees in a pine forest. Bottom left, you have a population of frogs in a pond. Here you have hammerhead sharks off the coast of Australia. And here we have a population of bacteria that live in your large intestine. And so slide 9, what is a population? And so a population consists or has all of the members of a species that live in a particular area. So for example, the city of Pittsburgh has a population of 301,048 humans, right? And so there's a population of humans in that particular area. Right, so for example, there's a different population of humans living in every city. Right? One species can have many different populations around the world. So a population consists of members of one species, but does not have to consist of all the members of that species, right? So this population here in Pittsburgh, right, this number obviously is not accounting for all of the humans in the world, right? It certainly isn't accounting for the humans in Merced, you know, San Francisco, LA, right? And so it's just a population. It's just the number of people within that area. Slide 10. So we're going to travel back in time, right? This should look a little familiar if you have watched the movie Back to the Future. We are going to go back to September 19, 1831. What happened then? Well, slide 11 says, we are traveling back to Darwin's voyage. And so in 1831, the British naval ship Beagle set sail from England on a 5-year-long trip voyage around the world. On board the ship was a 22-year-old named Charles Darwin. Darwin eventually became the ship's naturalist, which is just a person who studies the natural world. And so in the same way that we talked about Gregor Mendel as the father of genetics, Charles Darwin is the father of evolution and natural selection. And so for your reading check here on slide 11, define a naturalist in your own words. A naturalist is, and then you would write what you think. And this is an image of Charles Darwin as a young adventurer, and this is what he looked like in his older ages. Slide 12. During his voyage, this voyage, Darwin observed plants and animals he'd never seen before. He wondered why they were so different from those in England, right? And so here's this Beagle, the ship that Darwin was on, right? So he was traveling from England, and then he made his way around the world and eventually made it to the Galapagos Islands. And so he had observations that led him to develop one of the most important scientific theories of all time, the theory of evolution by natural selection. We will get into what natural selection is in a bit, but for now, just hold on to that idea. Slide 13. So Darwin was amazed by the tremendous diversity or variety of living things. Today, scientists know that living things are even more diverse than Darwin could have ever imagined. Scientists have identified more than 1.2 million species of organisms on Earth. A species is a group of similar organisms that can mate with each other and produce fertile offspring. And so the reason I emphasize "and" is because you have organisms that are able to mate with each other, but they don't produce fertile offspring. So for example, a mule is infertile. It cannot produce offspring, right? You get a mule when you mate a donkey and a horse. However, yes, they can mate with each other, but their offspring, the mule, cannot produce offspring. So they're not actually considered their own species. Scientists estimate that there are millions more species who are yet to have been identified and described. If you want to learn more about biodiversity on our planet, click here. It'll take you to a link by National Geographic about biodiversity. And so here for your reading check, it's asking how many species have scientists identified, and define species. Slide 14. Video check. So watch this video and describe what fertile means. So here's the video. Go ahead and watch that and type out what fertile means. Slide 15. Describe Darwin in your own words. So here you are going to potentially start your idea about Darwin by saying Darwin was, and then why did he go on a voyage, right? So refer back to the previous slides for more information or a review of the information if you need. Let me know if you need anything. Otherwise, have a great day.